दर्शन शिवरे धरणी कवरना कशिनी कलंक कले बनिमाना केशव सीता शुकर रूपा केशव सीता जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश अब कर कमल बने नखम अद्भुत सिंगम दलित हिरण्य कशिपु तनु केशव सीता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे Now, Vamandev Guru. Chalaya Srivikramane Valimada Putta Mamana Padana Kathir Janita Jana Pavana केशव सीता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश क्षत्रिय रुधिरमये जगत भगत पावम न पयसि पयसि शमित भवताम् पयसि पयसि केशव सीता भृगुपति रूपा केशव जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे दिग्पते कमनीयम् दशमुखमौलिबलिं रमणीयम् दशमुखमौलिबलिं केशव सीता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश जय जगदीश खुशी विषय वतनं जलता अलहति भीति विलस्य यमुना केशव सीता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश श्रुति सदय हृदय दर्शित पशुभासम सदय हृदय केशव सीता जय जगदीश छनि बहनि घने कलयसि करवालम छनि बहनि घने धूम केशु शिवमपि करालम केशव सीता कल्कि शरीरा जय जगदीश जय जगदीश श्री जय देव मेरी नमुदितं मुदानं शृणु सुखदं शुभदं भवसानं जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश वेदानुद्धरते जगन्ति वहते भूगोलम् उद्बिभ्रते दैत्यं धारयते बलिं चलयते शत्रक्षयं कुर्वते पौलस्त्यं जयते हलं कलयते कारुण्यम् आतन्वते म्लेच्छं मोक्षयते दशकृति कृते कृष्णाय तुभ्यं नमः. We'll go to fifth verse once more. Vamandev's glorification. Chalayasi vikramane valimatabuta vamanda. Padanakneerajanita janapavana. Padanakneera Keshavasita Pamanarupa. Keshavasita Pamanarupa. Jaya Jagadish Hare. Shri Vamanadeva Bhagavan ki Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Utapadakandalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashat Videsha Tarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the fourth day of this transcendental Vrindavan Yatra. You are, and including myself, we are all very fortunate. Some of us are more fortunate, some of us are less fortunate. Those who are more fortunate, they have more Giriraj Prasad in their legs. Those who are less fortunate, they have less Giriraj Prasad. So don't be worried, don't feel sad that your leg is spraining, aching. Feel happy that somehow we could use our body for the pleasure of the Lord and his devotee, Sri Giriraj. Actually, the purpose of getting a human form is this one: to be able to come to the Dham and engage the body in the service of Krishna in such a way that we feel very humbled, and at the same time we heartfully offer prayers also. How many of you are really feeling that, my dear Lord, I really cannot do much with this body. It is only your mercy which can take me through. How many of you are feeling like this yesterday? So that is the pinnacle of feeling insignificant and humble. where we really understand Srila Prabhupada's statement that this material body is a bad bargain. And making the best of this bad bargain is to use this bad bargain in Krishna's service in such a way that we really feel this is a bad bargain. In fact, one of the reasons to inspire someone to go back home, back to Godhead is that when we go back home, back to Godhead, then we will all have a Satchidananda spiritual body, where there is no need of taking rest also. And there is no need of feeling tired, there is no need of sleep. We will eat only when Krishna is eating, like that. Otherwise, there is no need of eating, sleeping, anything. So with this material body, no matter how much service we want to do, there are limitations. But when we go back home, back to Godhead in a spiritual body, there are no limitations. The service is unlimited. And by the mercy of the Lord, our capacity is unlimited. And the pleasure of the Lord is also unlimited. So how many of you are really feeling that this material world is not a good place? We should just chant Hare Krishna, go back home, back to Godhead, serve the Lord eternally. And as long as we are here, let's use it in the best possible way, this bad bargain in the Lord's service. How many of you feel like this? Very, very good. So this is one of the reasons to come to Dham. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. One should see the fault and the pessimism which is there in birth, disease, old age and death. So Dham is meant for such realizations. Dham is meant for practicing Krishna consciousness in a very sincere, serious way, feeling fed up with the material world, but at the same time, there also has to be a desire to help everybody, help oneself and others understand the glory of Krishna consciousness. So on that note, I would like to congratulate every one of you for having Giriraj Prasad all over your body. Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki. One of my friends was telling me that, Prabhu, I'm feeling so bad. I'm feeling so bad that I could not fully complete the Giriraj Parikrama. So therefore, I'm fully charged up that I will go back to Bangalore and practice walking and do whatever it takes so that next year I will again come and offer full Giriraj Parikrama. So see, this is the amazing enthusiasm. There are so many people who are doing this half marathon in Bangalore. There is sometimes some half marathon, full marathon is organized for the purpose of giving biryani to street dogs or for whatever purpose. So instead of doing half marathon in Bangalore, it is better to do a half marathon in Vrindavan. And it makes sense to prepare yourself also for that. So very nice. The glories of doing Giriraj Parikrama is also unlimited. There is no limit to that glory. And in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, there are two people who have been told as Haridas Varya, that means the best amongst the servants of the Lord. One is Maharaj Yudhishthir and the other is Shri Giriraj Govardhan. So circumambulating such a great devotee definitely pleases the Lord. Definitely pleases the Lord. Imagine if Srila Prabhupada is here and we get a chance to circumambulate him. It will give so much pleasure to the Lord. Similarly, circumambulating Shri Giriraj Govardhan, who is absorbed in ecstasy, thinking about Radha and Krishna and missing Radha and Krishna so much that he is shrinking day by day. So that kind of seva is unimaginably great. So we are very, very fortunate. Even those who couldn't complete, they are also fortunate. Those who completed, they are also fortunate. Anybody who got darshan of Giriraj Govardhan, they are also fortunate. Anybody who could touch Giriraj Govardhan or embrace Giriraj Govardhan, everybody is extremely, extremely fortunate. Although my desire is to get into Giriraj Govardhan pastimes, but I've been given a different topic today. And the organizers have told that, I don't know, you can talk to the organizers, but they told there is nothing to do till 10:30, so continue the Katha till 10. I don't know if that is giving pleasure to you, but organizers have instructed me. So therefore, I thought to increase the Katha duration, we will discuss something from Vaman Dev's appearance first. And then we will discuss something about Shyamananda Pandit, Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Acharya. Yesterday we also heard about Jiva Goswami from his day Surendra Prabhu. Today is the appearance day of Jiva Goswami also. It's a very, very auspicious day. We are in the best place possible in the association of the best devotees. Hare Krishna. So Vaman Dev incarnation is a very transcendental incarnation. If you specifically want to know which part of Srimad Bhagavatam talks about it, it is the 8th canto, chapter number 18, where Vaman Dev pastimes are very nicely described. Apart from that, some of the pastimes of Vaman Dev are also described in Garga Samhita. And a brief mention of Vaman Dev also comes in 1st canto, chapter 3. So, there was this great king who's scheduled to become the next Indra. So for 71 Yuga cycles, Chatur Yuga cycles, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar and Kali is one Chatur Yuga cycle. For 71 such cycles, a particular Jivatma takes the post of Indra. So Bali Maharaj, the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Who is Prahlad Maharaj? Sorry? Son of Hiranyakashipu? Okay. Devotee of Narsingadev, everybody knows Prahlad Maharaj. So son of Prahlad Maharaj is Virochana, and son of Virochan is Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj is a great personality connected to Prahlad Maharaj, also one of the Mahajans. Bali Maharaj was having a fight with the demigods, and Lord Indra beheaded him. The demons lost. This is during the Samudra Manthan pastime, where Bali Maharaj was cooperating with the demigods, and they were all doing the Manthan, churning of the milk ocean. And then so many things were coming out. Few things were being taken by demons, few things were being taken by the demigods. And ultimately, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, transcendentally cheated the demons by giving the nectar, which makes the demigods very strong, along with his mercy to the demigods. So the demons, they became angry and they started a fight on the banks or the shore of the milk ocean. If you read that description of that battle, you'll find it so amazing. It is better than all the Star Wars and all the comics and all the movies and all the novels which you have ever read. When I was growing up, I was very fascinated by Star Wars. So the kind of aliens who come there and the fights and the kind of movies which were made on it, very much it was like a fantasy, fascinated. But when I read this 8th canto, Yuddha, between demons and demigods, I lost taste for movies, novels, and comics. The kind of description which is given of the war between demons and demigods is unimaginable. Absolutely unimaginable. So therefore, if you read that pastime, there is a great battle between demons and the demigods going there, in which Lord Indra defeats and kills Bali Maharaj. However, Bali Maharaj is brought back to life by the practice of one of the skills called Sanjeevani Vidya. And he and along with the other demons is brought back to life. So Bali Maharaj, when he is brought back to life, uh, he felt very grateful to Shukracharya. And he said that from this day, whatever you say, I will do. My life is yours. Because anyways, I was dead. You have brought back me to life. So I'm grateful to you. I want to serve you. So then under the guidance of Shukracharya, many yajnas were being performed. And by the power of serving a Brahmana, by the power of serving a person who is practicing the Brahminical culture. Who is a Brahmana? Who can tell me? Yeah, Shukracharya is a Brahmana. You know, definition of a Brahmana. Who can tell me? From Bhagavad Gita, hint. Chapter 18, another hint. Shloka number 42. Can you tell the translation also? You can see and tell, no problem. So who is a Brahmana? Here is the definition. Why I am discussing this? Because we need to know the value of Brahmanas and the value of service to them.
Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work.
So Shukracharya was a qualified Brahmana. And anybody who has these 9 qualities, Kshama, Dama, Tva, Shaucham, Shantir, Arjavam, Evacha, Jnana, Vijnana, Mastikyam, Brahma, Karma, Svabhavam. Service to them is great service. Lord Krishna is very pleased with Brahmanas. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So by service to Shukracharya, who was a Brahmana, he was not a fake Brahmana, he was a original good Brahmana. At least Brahmanically he was very organized and perfect. So by serving him, Bali Maharaj developed Brahma Tej, and he was blessed with Brahma Tej also. As a result of which, he started becoming victorious all over the universe. And slowly, he captured all the planetary systems up till Swargaloka. It is mentioned in the 8th canto that Bali Maharaj, when he attacked again the demigods chose not to fight with Bali Maharaj only, because just seeing him, they thought, isse ladenge to haar jayenge. It's better not fight, just run away from here. So in that way, he became in charge of the heavenly planetary systems also. But at the end of the day, a demon is a demon. And especially when he is guided by a materialistic guru like Shukracharya. So the demigods who are pure devotees, practicing pure devotees, and some of them are very pure devotees, many of them are purified pure devotees like Lord Brahma and others. So they all, they approached Lord Krishna or Vishnu. That see, we are struggling. You gave us a seva, now that seva is being taken away by someone else. Bali Maharaj is a very saintly person, but the followers of Bali Maharaj, who are normal demons, they are not able to understand everything and they are causing havoc. So it's time that this thing is given back to us, this kingdom. So then, from the womb of Aditi, fathered by Kashyap Muni, Vaman Dev makes his appearance. Everything belongs to Vaman Dev, everything has to be used in the service of Vaman Dev. So Vaman Dev, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, Bali Maharaj got this kingdom, and by the mercy of Lord Krishna, all the kingdom was taken away also. That we will see in the Vaman Dev's pastime. So there is very nice description about Vaman Dev's appearance. How he appeared. It is mentioned, the Lord appeared in his original form with ornaments and weapons in 4 hands. That means when he came, he was in Chaturbhuj Roop. Although this ever-existing form is not visible in the material world, he nonetheless appeared in this form. Then, in the presence of his father and mother, he assumed the form of a Vamana, a Brahmana dwarf, a brahmachari, just like a theatrical actor. Sampashyato divya gatir yatha nataha. That is the word. The word nataha is used. That means just like an actor changes his dress and appearance and becomes someone else. So the Lord came in his original Narayan form, Vishnu form, and then in front of them he turned into a dwarf Brahmana. That is Vamandev. Vamandev is also sometimes called as Upendra. Upendra means the younger brother of Indra. So like that. So then the birthday celebration of Vamandev is done. See, in some incarnations, birthday ceremony is not celebrated. For instance, when Narsimhadev came, nobody celebrated his birthday. he just came and he started killing left, right, center. Of course, now we celebrate Narsimha Chaturdashi, but when he came, nobody celebrated. But when Vamandev came, everybody celebrated the birthday. So, some description I'll read. The sacred thread ceremony of Vamandev. The sun god personally uttered the Gayatri mantra. Brihaspati offered him the sacred thread. Kashyap Muni gave him the straw belt. Mother Earth gave him deer skin. And the demigod of the moon, Chandradev, gave him the Brahmadand. His mother Aditi gave him a cloth for underwear, that means kaupin. And the deity presiding over the heavenly kingdom, that is Indra, gave him an umbrella. So that is how brahmacharis used to look in previous ages. In the purport to this, Srila Prabhupada says that now there is no need for brahmacharis to dress like this. Brahmacharis should wear clean clothes, which is not very fancy, so that they can do their seva, not be body conscious, but at the same time interact with the society and help spread the message of Lord Krishna. Imagine if we go out like wearing deer skin and straw belt and Brahmadand and umbrella and all, they will think like we are some kind of aliens only. And then Lord Brahma gave him the water pot. It's very unique, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He doesn't need anything from anyone. He is Atmaram. However, it is his grace, it is his mercy that he accepts these things from the demigods. The power of giving anything, the demigods, whatever power they have to give anything to anyone, that also comes from Krishna. And Krishna comes in any incarnation and accepts few things from these demigods. It's like a loving father who has arranged for something which the child wants, let's say a nice meal. And then the father only has made arrangements, the father only has made it and everything. But before eating, the child lovingly offers to the father something back. So in that way, these demigods, they know that whatever they have with them is the mercy of Krishna. With that, they, just like when you go to worship Ganges, you take little bit Ganges and offer it back to Ganges. Because we cannot offer anything to Ganges. She contains the saffron dust particles of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What else can we? She has to offer something to us. So in that way, in a very humble way, the demigods, this is there in the purport, so I'm just sharing, the demigods in the mood of humility, thinking that I have nothing to offer, but this is something which I have, please accept. They were giving. So Lord Brahma gave the water pot, the 7 sages gave him kusha grass, Mother Saraswati gave him his jap mala. And then Kuvera, who is Kuvera? The king of Yakshas as well as the treasurer of the demigods. All the deposit of the wealth is there with him. So this treasurer of the demigods, Kuvera, you know what he gifted to Vamandev? He gave him a katora for begging. The richest demigod gave him a begging pot. Very ironic. And Mother Parvati, she gave him the first bhiksha. live. So the job of a brahmachari, who is a brahmachari? A brahmachari is a person who stays by the order of the spiritual master, close to the spiritual master or in the jurisdiction of the spiritual master, and everything which he does is meant for the spiritual master. And he does so, he stays like a menial servant in the jurisdiction of the spiritual master, controlling his senses, engaging in shastric study, and simply living for the benefit of the Guru, Guror Hitam. Point to be noted, that if a brahmachari is not staying in the jurisdiction of the spiritual master, under the authority of the spiritual master, and is not controlling his senses, and is doing all the services not for the benefit of the spiritual master, but for his own personal agenda, he is not a brahmachari. So these were the activities of a brahmachari. And so a brahmachari is a beggar, basically. He begs for his spiritual master. Even Krishna and Balram, the supreme personalities of Godhead, when they were staying in Ujjain, daily they used to go out to beg. And whatever they used to get, they used to bring it back for Sandipani Muni. In one class, I was hearing that Krishna and Balram were Kshatriyas, but there were some very high-class Brahmanas also studying with them in Sandipani Muni ashram. So some of them were like, we are Brahmanas, we will not go out to beg. So Krishna and Balram used to convince them that this is our sacred duty, service to Guru. Don't see it as begging. In fact, when it comes to serving Guru, one should never see what service they are doing. Sometimes people classify the services also. This service is a high profile, high important service. This service is not so important service. Something like that. That is not good. Every service is absolute. So tell me some of the services which are there in ISKCON. Book distribution, preaching, vessel washing, temple hall cleaning, cooking, prasadam distribution, Nagar Sankirtan, deity worship, videography, that is tape ministry. Yes. Nobody is saying accounts. Accounts also is a very important. Just because many of us are not engaged in accounts, who will track the finance and the funds? Imagine, without accounts, we will not exist only. Anything else? Temple construction, all of you have become, what is the term? Krishna Sevak? Krishna Mandir Sevaks yesterday. All of you have taken a vow to follow in the footsteps of Krishna and Balram. Just like Krishna and Balram would go out and beg, and whatever they would get, they would come and bring and give back to their Guru. Similarly, all the Krishna Mandir Sevaks should go out and beg. And whatever they get, okay, don't keep 1 rupee also. Whatever they get, bring it back and give it to the accounts department, or give it, let's say, give it to Harikshit Prabhu, and then he will use it in the service of Krishna. The very, very transcendental service this is, where we really exist for the pleasure, really exist for the benefit of Srila Prabhupada's movement directly. So no service is small or big. There is a misconception. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked, he went to America, where people from different parts of the country had come to meet him. And then one of the disciples dared to ask this question to Srila Prabhupada in front of everybody, that Srila Prabhupada, which service pleases you the most? So the book distributors were thinking, definitely Prabhupada will say book distribution. Just wait and watch. And then the pujaris were thinking, definitely Srila Prabhupada will say pujaris. Because if we do not worship the deities properly, nobody will get mercy. And without mercy, what book distribution you do? Similarly, the cooks were thinking that prasadam is something which runs the pujaris and book distributors both. So if we don't do our service, the movement will vanish. It will just vanish in thin air. So definitely we are the most important. Srila Prabhupada used to say ISKCON is a kitchen religion. So they were thinking our name they will take. So similarly, the managers were thinking, hey, what all this? Until unless we organize, administrate, and manage properly, nothing will happen. Srila Prabhupada has to give credit to the temple presidents. Definitely, he will say management. Similarly, the preachers, they were thinking, array, all these people, we are the real cream of ISKCON. We are running ISKCON and maintaining. If we stop preaching, nothing will happen in ISKCON. So all of them were thinking definitely our department, our department, our department, our department. And Srila Prabhupada gave the answer that if you can develop love for Krishna, that is the best service which you can do to me. Lesson to be learned here. All services are absolute in Krishna consciousness. More important than service is the intention and the mood with which we do the service. His Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj used to say that we don't want to see which service you are doing. We don't want to see how much funds you are raising. We don't want to see how many devotees you are making. We want to see whether you have developed love for Krishna or not. We want to see whether you have developed devotional qualities or not. So the most important seva is to become a sincere, humble devotee of Krishna, aspiring to develop love for Krishna, developing devotional qualities for the pleasure of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. If this is not happening, then it does not matter whether you are a book distributor or a kitchen cook or a deity worshipper or a preacher or a fundraiser or an accountant or whatever. Krishna is not service grahi Janardhan. Krishna is bhava grahi Janardhan. When Krishna had visited Hastinapur, Duryodhana had did a service of calling all the master chefs from different parts of the world, and he had cooked 1008 items. Do you think that is a small service? But Duryodhana's bhava, Duryodhana's intention is not good. So Krishna rejected that lunch. All of you know about this incident, right? Yeah. And then there was one person who had not done much seva. He had not cooked any lunch for Krishna, named Vidura. Krishna went to his house and told, "Chalo, kuch khane ko do." No special arrangements, no special preparations. So Krishna is okay to have just one item in the house of Vidura because the bhav of Vidura is great. But Krishna is not okay to take seva or eat in the house of a person like Duryodhana who has done a greater quantum of service. But bhav is not good. So lesson to be learned here, more important than quantum of service, more important than service itself is the intention and the mood of doing the service. So whether it is prasadam service seva or temple hall cleaning seva, abhishekam seva, book distribution seva, preaching seva, fundraising seva, accountant seva, whatever seva, we have to always pray that, my dear Lord, there are Ananta Koti Vaishnavas serving you. You really do not need any service. You are Atmaram. The only thing which you are hungry for is the bhava or the love. Please bless me so that I can develop some love for you. And love for you starts with loving your devotees. And in a mood of pleasing your devotees and the spiritual masters, let me do your service. Please engage me in your service. So this is the essence. This is one learning which we do. Krishna is bhava grahi jana. So it is very, very important to have the proper bhava, or at least the proper attitude, humble attitude. So in that mood, the demigods, they were giving something, and Vamandev decided to help the demigods. So just like as I was sitting here for the session today, I saw many of you were walking. And when you were walking, you were limping and walking. Not walking, sorry, you were walking with, you were loaded with Giriraj Kripa while walking. You were heavy. It was looking like all of you are heavy. So similarly, Vamandev went to Bhrigukach, a place where Bali Maharaj was performing a sacrifice. And when he was walking, he was walking just like all of you. When he was walking, the whole earth was going down by the power of his potency. So he was also walking just like all of you, like this. And then, when people saw Vaman Dev, they thought, oh, maybe the sun god has come here. Some said, no, it's not sun god, it is Sanat Kumar. Some said, not Sanat Kumar. Some said, so different analogies they were giving. It was very effulgent and very beautiful. Simply by seeing Vaman Dev, everybody's heart was melting. I don't know whether we will have this experience in this life or not. Sometimes, when you see a great personality, you forget all your material desires, you forget all your agendas, you forget all your stinking desires. Simply by seeing that personality, your heart melts. And the only thing which you want to do is forget about your life. Just I have to serve that person. Have you had such an experience till now? I will not ask whom you saw or where you saw, because these are details. But this is called as a heart-touching experience. Sometimes when we see great devotees, they touch our heart. Because they don't want anything from us. They are selfless. They are simply trying to serve Krishna, carrying the love of Krishna. And simply by seeing them, our heart melts. We feel sorry for our existence. That what a stinking existence I have. Filled with so many personal agendas, me and mine. But here is a selfless person trying to serve Krishna, carrying the love of God in his or her heart. Let me serve. Sometimes we get this experience. So everybody in Bhrigukach, as soon as they saw Vaman Dev, they got that experience. That my whole life is wasted if I will not serve him. Even the Ratnavali, the sister of Bali Maharaj, she felt that I wish I could feed my milk, my breast milk. I wish if he could be my child and I could feed my milk to him. And this Ratnavali became Putana in her next life. Because of some problem, I will tell you. So Vaman Dev is coming and Bali Maharaj is immediately just like Shukdev Goswami, when he entered the arena, all the 60,000 sages who were assembled there, all of them got up. Simply by looking at Shukdev Goswami, they understood he is superior to us. So similarly, Shukracharya and all the other Brahmanas and all the people sitting in that arena, as soon as they saw Vaman Dev, they got up. That we have to welcome him. And everybody, and Bali Maharaj left the Ashwamedha Yajna which he was doing and ran to welcome Vaman Dev. He washed his feet. From the washing of feet of Vaman Dev, I remember that the Ganges which we are talking about is a gift of Vaman Dev. How many of you know this pastime? Okay, very few. Others everybody knows, they want to rehear it, I think. So, Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhuta Vaman Padanakha Neera Janita Jana Pavan. Padanakha. From the nails or from the toe of the foot, from the nail of the toe of the foot of Vaman Dev, the water which is coming, Padanakha Neera Janita Jana Pavan. It is making everybody pure. How? So we all know that Vaman Dev begged for 3 steps of land. And Bali Maharaj was like, what is this? I am the greatest donor and you are asking only 10 rupees from me or 3 rupees from me. So from great donors, you should ask great things. Like that Bali Maharaj was telling. But Vaman Dev made a very strong statement. He said, "O my dear king, even the entirety of whatever there may be within the three worlds to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled. So that means the real achievement in life is to practice discipline, obedience, and sense control. You should take that as a lesson. The real achievement of life is DOS, discipline, obedience, and sense control. Only when we have these three jewels in our character, we will learn to be satisfied with whatever we are getting by the power of providence. And then having that jewel of satisfaction, we will be able to dedicate more time for chanting and coming to Dham Yatras. All of you are here, you must be knowing few of your friends who couldn't come here due to reasons best known to them. Somehow, of course, if their health was not good, that is a genuine reason. But any other reason other than health not proper is not a good reason to not come for a Dham Yatra. Somehow the mind is cheating us that there is something more important than this Yatra. Something more you have to achieve in life. You can't miss this. Dham Yatra to hota rahega. Let me take the next mile in my life, the next stepping stone to success by missing this Dham Yatra. So the mind will cheat us in that way. So therefore, if mind is not controlled, any achievement in life is a small achievement. And if the intelligence is not spiritual, we will develop unlimited desires and unlimited hankering, and we will be becoming successful, and one day when the final exam comes, death, unsuccessful. Punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam, punah charita chavanana, punarapi janani jathareshayana. Simply we will take birth again. So therefore, Vamandev is telling that. This reminds me of Hiranyakashipu, how successful he was. Do you know of a person who is more materially successful than Hiranyakashipu? If you are thinking, maybe I am more successful than Hiranyakashipu, you are wrong. Nobody can become as materially successful as Hiranyakashipu. Whatever he wanted in this entire universe was his. Everybody respected him. He had unlimited capacity to enjoy his senses. He could control even the weather and the climate. Yesterday, day before yesterday, when we were going for the temple darshan, it was raining. Some people were like, "Kyun rain ho?" Hiranyakashipu will not ask kyun, he will just say, and the rain will stop. So everything which he wanted was there at his disposal. Even the great sages like Durvasa Rishi were afraid to curse him. Please listen, even the great sages could not chastise him because the tapasya which Hiranyakashipu had done was greater than these sages also. You cannot imagine how successful he was. But because his senses were not controlled, his mind was not controlled, he was not happy and satisfied in life. So therefore, one should be satisfied in life. Chanakya Pandit says, one should be satisfied with the wealth which they get. One should be satisfied with the wife which they get. One should be satisfied with the food which they get. These three things you should always be satisfied with. But one should be always unsatisfied with three things. One should be unsatisfied with your japa. You should always be hankering to improve it. One should be always unsatisfied with the charity which they give. And one should be always unsatisfied with the scriptural reading, Shastra Dhyan, which they do. That means you should be never be satisfied by your reading of Bhagavad Gita. You should be never satisfied by giving charity and collecting charity for ISKCON Whitefield Temple construction. And you should be never satisfied with your japa. You should always try to improve it. But everything else in life, you should be satisfied. So this is what Vamandev Vaman Dev incarnated to give this message. कि भाई satisfied हो जाओ life. हिरण्यकशिपु भी satisfied नहीं हुआ, तुम क्या हिरण्यकशिपु से भी ज्यादा successful होने का सोच रहे हो? ब्रह्मा ने already बोल दिया कि कोई नहीं हो सकता. So one should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny. Vamandev Shiksha. For discontent can never bring any happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. So this was the message which Vamandev gave. And then Vamandev said, give me 3 steps of land. Shukracharya came. He started scolding Bali Maharaj that you don't do, this person who is disguised as a dwarf or brahmachari, he is actually Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. He has come to take everything away from you. And if you lose everything, how will you give me my salary? Just see, even a perfect Brahmana, if he is not a Vaishnava, should not be accepted as a guru. This is a lesson which we derive. In the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada comments that looks like Shukracharya was a smart Brahmana. Smart Brahmanas, they are more interested about their salary, about their monthly stipend, so that they can continue their so-called priesthood or Ritvik system. Here the Supreme Personality of Godhead is standing. The purpose of life is to surrender to him. And Bali Maharaj thought, my grandfather Prahlad, he let his own father be killed in front of him to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I am in the generation of Prahlad Maharaj, dynasty of Prahlad Maharaj, and someone is telling me, don't surrender to him. This is wrong advice. So therefore I choose to disassociate with you and I choose to not follow you. Point to be noted, Bali Maharaj was given life by Shukracharya. He owed his life, manasa deho geho, je kichumura, arpinu tuva pade Shukracharya Mahoday, something like that. That was his situation. But even when such a guru who has given you everything, if he teaches you a path which is separate from Hari Bhakti, if he teaches you a path which is based on sense gratification, and if he teaches you something which is not in line with the teachings of the previous acharyas, such a guru should be rejected. So Shukracharya set an example by rejecting his guru and continuing to serve Vamandev. And then Vamandev did what? First step, what he did? Whole earth. Second step, everything else which was remaining till the Swargalok. Or rather, in one step, one planetary system. In the second step, other 13 planetary systems. Third step, no place to keep. So he's chastising Bali Maharaj. You thought that you are the king of the whole universe. Huh? You thought you are a very good donor. Just look at you. 3 steps of land also you cannot donate. So he chastised him. After that, even the wife, Vindhyavali, even the wife of Bali Maharaj was chastising Bali Maharaj in favor of Vamandev. Can you imagine what Bali Maharaj went through at that time? His own guru is cursing him. The Lord is chastising him, tying him with ropes of Varunapash. His own wife and family members, acha kiya, isko aur maro. His own wife and family members are also chastising. His grandfather Prahlad Maharaj is seeing all this and he's crying. Bali Maharaj got an opportunity to serve Krishna in a climate of misunderstanding and disrespect. Not everybody, that's why he's a Mahajan, not everybody can serve Krishna when everybody is misunderstanding them and everybody is criticizing them. Bali Maharaj chose to render undeviated service in a climate of criticism, misunderstanding, created by the Lord. So he said, third step, you can keep on my head. And then we all know, he got pushed to Sutara Loka, he was made the king of Sutara Loka, and he was promised that he'll become the next king of the heaven. That means the next Indra will be Bali Maharaj. And the Lord personally came to Sutara Loka and became the doorkeeper of Bali Maharaj also. Lesson to be learnt here, anybody who gives anything to Krishna never becomes a loser. He only gains. Now the question is, what can we give to Krishna? Some people become Krishna Mandir Nirvan Sevak, and then they give their time, energy, and money to Krishna. So they will never become losers. They will transcendently gain. And in Hindi there is a statement, Upar wala jab bhi deta hai to chhappar phaad ke deta hai. Meaning, you will serve Krishna this much, but Krishna will give you more than what you deserve. So that is the style in which the Lord gives. He is Varadaraj. He does not see your quantum of service or your whatever service or the bhava which you have. Of course, he is bhavgrahi, but when he gives, he is giving more than what anybody deserves. So Vaman Dev became personal attendant to Bali Maharaj. So therefore, from this we should definitely learn this lesson that at any opportunity in life, we should give everything to Krishna. Whatever we have. Whether it is our youth, whether it is our opulence, whether it is our life, whether it is our anything. In the Vedic culture, Gurur Avagya is considered as the greatest sin. But to serve the Lord, Bali Maharaj did Guru Avagya also. Especially when the Guru is not encouraging bhakti. To serve the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj respectfully disobeyed his own father also, because his father was not encouraging bhakti. Lesson to be learned here. Anybody who discourages you to do bhakti, respectfully disobey them. And continue your path of bhakti. But respectfully disobey. तलवार निकाल के तुम मेरे को chanting नहीं करना दे रहा, आओ मारेंगे, वैसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Just respectfully disobey. If you disobey disrespectfully, don't know what will happen to you, and then they will beat you, and then you will give up your japana. So respectfully disobey and respectfully disassociate with all those things and all those people who are not encouraging you on the path of bhakti. This is dharma, and be ready to do this. If you really want personal association of the Lord, like Bali Maharaj is getting, if you really want so much satisfaction in life like Prahlad Maharaj, then you have to pay a price for it. The price is, one has to value their relationship with Krishna more than all the other relationships they have in life. That is the price which we have to pay. And trust me, the day we pay this price, that Krishna is most important for me and the instructions of Guru are more important to me, we will experience real happiness. We will experience real freedom. And we will experience mercy. And our heart will melt. And then when we hear about Shyamananda Pandit and Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivasa Acharya, then we will be able to relate to their life also. Because these people, they gave up everything for Krishna. So therefore the goal of life should be to understand that one who gives anything to Krishna is not a loser, but is the most intelligent, transcendental gainer. So as much as possible, give to Krishna, starting with your time, with your youth, with your opulence, with your any kind of opulence, with your wealth, everything. सब कुछ भगवान को देने का प्रयास करेंगे. Start with 1%. 1% for Krishna, 99% for me. Start with that. And then slowly go on increasing. And then one day it should be 99% for Krishna and 1% for me. And one day it should become 100% for Krishna, because everything belongs to him already. So we have to slowly come to that stage. That is the lesson which we learn from this Vamandev's pastime. Now that because we have time till 10:30, I have to do some time pass. So I don't know, organizers told me that 10:30 tak kariye. So I would like to discuss a little bit about the three preachers, three book distributors of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, when they left, they took over the preaching mission of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Their names are, who can tell me their names? Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit. About whom would you like to hear first? Very good. All of them ka ek saath nahi bol sakte. How many of you would like to hear about Shyamananda Pandit? Because about him only I have prepared. Shyamananda Pandit. Okay. Shyamananda Pandit. How many of you feel that people belonging to the land of Odisha are generally having a very devotional mindset? How many of you feel like that? Udiya matlab Jagannath Bhakt hona hi chahiye usko. You know why you are thinking like this today? Because this great personality, Shyamananda Pandit, has changed the whole of Utkal Pradesh. He changed the whole of Odisha. How? We will come to know now. So Shyamananda Prabhu was born in Utkal. Earlier Odisha was known as Utkal. There is one Utkal Express also. In a place called Dharendra Bahadurpur, presently in Midnapur district. And he was born in a family of milkmen. That means he was not a Brahmana by birth. He was a family of milkmen. And then, as he was a small child, he was showing great attachment to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. He used to go to the houses of those people in his village who were very attached to Gauranga and Nityananda, and he used to hear from them. And then, after some time, when his formal education started, he was assigned under one guru. And the name of the guru is not mentioned here. However, the guru also felt that he knows more than what I can teach him. Another point which I missed saying is that he was named as Dukhi. All the children which his parents got before begetting Shyamananda Pandit, they would live for some time and die. So the parents named this child as Dukhi. But Dukhi was experiencing great sukh by regularly hearing about the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and he was regularly very much attached to Lord Krishna. When he began his formal schooling, all the Brahmanas of the village saw that this child has an amazing scholarship. He learned Sanskrit grammar, poetry, rhetoric, and seriously started studying the scriptures. And he became very famous as a student, just like Jiva Goswami. So, in this case, his own father, Sri Krishna Mandala, started seeing that, oh, my son is a great devotee of the Lord. So, Sri Krishna Mandala was not like Hiranyakashipu. He was encouraging Dukhi that you go, now you take Diksha and practice properly. But you have to first decide who your spiritual master is. So at that time, Shyamananda Dukhi, he said that I've heard about Hriday Chaitanya Das, who is the disciple of Gauridas Pandit. In the house of Gauridas Pandit, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda personally stay in Ambika Kalna in the form of deities. This much I know. And this Hriday Chaitanya Das is serving Gauridas Pandit, and in his heart, Lord Chaitanya resides. I want to take initiation from Hriday Chaitanya Das. So this is the qualification lesson to be learned. Qualification of a guru, or how to choose a guru. One should choose a guru. See, it is very important. Shyamananda or Dukhi, he didn't say that I want to take initiation from Hriday Chaitanya Das. He said, I want to take initiation from Hriday Chaitanya Das, who is a disciple of Gauridas Pandit. So he was very clear in which parampara he wants to take initiation. So one of the qualifications of choosing a guru is that your guru should be in Guru Shishya parampara. And your guru should be well renowned for having nicely heard from his own guru and served his own guru properly. That means your guru should not be a Ritvik. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. One should have full faith. Your guru should have full faith in Lord Chaitanya, and your guru should have served his spiritual master and should have received initiation from his spiritual master, who is coming in a bona fide disciplic succession. And your guru's heart should be hankering to serve Krishna, serve Lord Chaitanya, Hriday Chaitanya Das. In the heart of your guru, Lord Chaitanya should be there. So we should really admire the transcendental intelligence of Dukhi, that he chose such a nice spiritual master. Whose Param Guru, Gauridas Pandit, was personally worshipping. How many of you have gone to Ambika Kalna? Please raise your hands. Maybe we should take these spiritual seekers to Ambika Kalna sometime. Ambika Kalna is a place where one of the personal associates of Lord Chaitanya, Gauridas Pandit, he captured Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda in his house. And he said, Ab aap log nahi ja sakte yahan se. You cannot live in this place. Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda said, we are Sankirtan people. We don't stay in one place. We have to go outside and do Sankirtan. No, you cannot go. So Gauridas Pandit said, I will not let you go. So Lord Chaitanya said, okay, we will give you deities who are same like us, who are non-different from us. You serve those deities. You keep serving them breakfast, lunch, dinner 6 times a day, and whatever alankar and darshanarthi you want to do, you continue doing. But we will go. So in their personal presence, they got it carved, or they rather manifested it, and they gave it to Gauridas Pandit. And then those deities, they were standing, and Mahaprabhu and Nityananda were going. So Gauridas Pandit, he changed the agreement. He said, no, I want you two to stay, these deities can go. So he thought, okay, if these deities are not different from Gauranga Nityananda, so deities ko jane do. So Mahaprabhu and Nityananda said, okay, no problem. Then the deities started walking out, and Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, they became like deities. Then he said, Arey, this is a problem. Then he said, no, I want the deities only to come back. Let Mahaprabhu and Nityananda go. Then again the deities came back and started standing, and Mahaprabhu and Nityananda assumed the so-called transcendental human form, and then they started going out. Like this 2-3 times it happened. And finally Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, they transcendentally cheated. Just like Vaman, they transcendentally cheated Bali Maharaj. They transcendentally cheated him to accept the deity. And then Gauridas Pandit was serving Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu in the mood of in fraternal worship, in the mood of a guardian. So sometimes he used to threaten Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu also, the deities, if they wouldn't do proper, if they would not, not make them disciplined, but just to take more care of them. So whenever Sankirtan used to happen, these deities, they used to go out of the house. And they would be found dancing somewhere near the Ganges in some Sankirtan. And then Gauridas Pandit would go with a stick looking for the deities. And they are dancing. So one day he said that enough is enough. I have made bhoga for you, I have made all arrangements for you, and when I come to offer, you are not here. So from today, you will not leave the altar. Then he came with a stick. Now, to increase the transcendental happiness of the disciple of Gauridas Pandit, that is Hridaya Chaitanya, and to increase the transcendental anxiety of Gauridas Pandit, Mahaprabhu went and hid inside the heart that, not everybody could see, but Gauridas Pandit could see that Lord Chaitanya, he came out of Sankirtan and went inside the heart of his disciple. So therefore, from that day, he got the name Hridaya Chaitanya Das, in whose heart Lord Chaitanya is residing. So that those deities are still there in Ambika Kalna. And the rule which they have for those deities is that they open the altar only for 30 seconds. They will open the altar, they'll let you take darshan and then immediately close. Then after some time they'll open and they'll immediately close. Because they have full understanding that if any devotee sincerely comes and prays, my dear Lord, please come out with me, little bit dancing Sankirtan we will have. So the deities will go out actually. So out of love for the deities, Gauridas Pandit made this rule. And that Gauridas Pandit's disciple is Hridaya Chaitanya Das. And from him, Shyamananda Pandit or rather Dukhi, wants to take initiation. So he took permission from his father. And then he went. Father was a little worried that how will you go so far on your own? He said that once in a year, many devotees, they go in that area. I will go with them. So he went there. He surrendered his life to Hridaya Chaitanya, and he said that I want to serve you. I want to take initiation from you. And Hridaya Chaitanya, being very merciful, he accepted him as his disciple and gave him the name Krishnadas, Dukhi Krishnadas. So from that day, he became, instead of Dukhi, he became Dukhi Krishnadas. And then he started serving. And then again, when Dukhi Krishnadas was doing service there, seeing his service attitude and seeing his extreme scholarship, Hridaya Chaitanya decided to send him to Vrindavan under the tutelage of Jiva Goswami to learn the Vedic scriptures for further education. So Dukhi Krishnadas felt very bad that I'm being separated from Hridaya Chaitanya Das. But still, order of Guru is order of Guru. Taking the order of Guru, he left for Vrindavan. This reminds me of one of the instances in my spiritual master's life, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He went to see Srila Prabhupada when he was in his last day, second last day in Krishna Balram Mandir. And he was giving a brief report of all the activities which are happening in Mayapur. And he really wanted to spend time with Srila Prabhupada. Any day he could end his physical pastimes. But Srila Prabhupada told him that there is a lot of work to do in Mayapur. You should go. Keeping a stone on his heart, leaving his spiritual master in that circumstance where a disciple really wants to be with Guru, he went and he caught a train from Vrindavan or Mathura Junction to go to Kolkata. And when he went to Kolkata, a newspaper person threw a newspaper at him, and in the newspaper he read, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami, founder of ISKCON, passes away on Kolkata railway station. So this is the order of Guru. Sometimes one has to face immense separation from Guru to fulfill the instructions of Guru. So lesson learned here is Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Kuriya Ekya. The instruction of Guru is our life and soul. If the Guru orders us, you don't be in my physical presence, go for some seva. That seva is more important. So keeping a stone on his heart, Hridaya Chaitanya Das went to Vrindavan, and there he met Jiva Goswami. and he started studying under Jiva Goswami. However, Dukhi Krishna Das had two other friends, Srinivas Acharya and Narottam Das Thakur. And Jiva Goswami had many students coming from different parts of the country to study under him. So to get personal time from Jiva Goswami was a very difficult thing. Just like some of the spiritual masters in ISKCON, to get personal time from them is like Srimati Radharani only has to bless you. Then only you can get some personal time. It's very difficult. So he was praying to the deities in Vrindavan that I want to spend some time with Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami came to know this. And he said, okay, from today, you have one seva. There is one kunja called Kanana Kunja. From there, you will bring me one pot of water daily. And then, but before bringing me one pot of water, you have to clean the streets of Vrindavan and the kunjas of various, he assigned this kunja, that kunja, etc., etc., etc. And some streets which are on the pathway of the temples, so that the devotees, while coming to the temple, they should not have any inconvenience. So basically, Jiva Goswami, he wanted to go close to Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Goswami made him a street sweeper. Now, someone may think, just like Sivanda Prabhu was telling yesterday, that sometimes some IITians, they come in ISKCON and they think I am from IIT and they have given me vessel washing seva. I am a graduate from IIT. They have given me vessel washing seva. I am a master's from IIT. They have given me cooking seva. And this person who never went to college has become temple president. What is going on? So bhakti works differently. Bhakti, seniority in bhakti depends on purification of heart and not on external qualification. So this disciple, Dukhi Krishna Das, wanted to go closer to his guru, and his guru made him a street sweeper in Vrindavan. And he has to bring one pot of water daily for his spiritual master. This is the service which he got. But see, as I was explaining earlier, every service in Krishna consciousness is absolute. One should not think I am a book distributor, I am more important. I am a preacher, I am more important. I am a accountant, so I am like, everybody should talk to me with respect. Otherwise, money only I will bolo pay, I will not. So nobody should think that every service is absolute. So the greatest scholar of Utkal, Dukhi Krishna Das, is now daily sweeping the streets of Vrindavan so that the people should not have any problem going to temple, and he is getting water from one of the kunjas for his spiritual master. That's all. However, Dukhi Krishna Das did this service with very nice mood, with very nice bhava. He did this service without cursing his spiritual master. He did it with full absorption. He knew that simply by doing this service, I will attain the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. With that bhava, he was cleaning. And Jiva Goswami used to see, cleaning ho raha hai, very good, very nice. Jiva Goswami was becoming happy. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado. Because Jiva Goswami became pleased with the cleaning seva given to a very scholarly disciple. Because Jiva Goswami was pleased, so Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani were also pleased. And one day when he went to that kunja to get water from that kunja, and during he was cleaning that place also, he found a very transcendental bracelet. Matlab, kya bolte hain? Anklet, sorry, not bracelet, anklet, nupur, payal. Because he was very devoted to his guru, his path to getting darshan of Radha and Krishna was through the path of seva. And that seva was not according to his nature also. He was a scholar. So path to back to Godhead is through service. Lesson learned. If we are lucky, we will get a service which we like. And if we are most fortunate, we will get a service which we don't like. We should accept that fortune and continue doing the seva with all our heart and soul, sincerity, humility. Simply by sweeping the streets of Vrindavan, he attained the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Now, this does not mean that if you have to attain the lotus feet of Radharani, you have to sweep the streets only and not do Mandir Nirman Seva. The point here is sweeping the street will not take you to Radharani. Doing whatever service which Guru has given, that will take you. If your Guru has given you accounts seva, by doing accounts properly, one day you will meet the supreme accountant, Krishna, who keeps everybody's account. How many Giriraj Parikramas done, how many chanting done, how many Ekadashi. Nobody is a better accountant than Krishna, you know. He keeps an account of everything. He maintains a diary. The chanters of the holy name, their names are written in that diary. And those who are sincerely chanting the holy name, their names are also written. Those who never forget Krishna, their names are on the top. And there is a secret diary which he maintains, where he writes the names of those devotees whom he never forgets. The reference of what I'm speaking, the diary business, the reference of this is it's from a folk tale which I heard about Lord Hanuman from my grandfather. Hanuman knew that Lord Ram maintains two diaries. In one diary, he writes the names of all these people who chants his name and who are never forgetting him. And in one diary, he writes the names of those people whom he never forgets. So these two diaries of Lord Ram, I heard from my grandfather. So that is the source here. Anyways, none of us can verify it also. So Lord Krishna is the ultimate accountant. And even if you get accounts seva from from your spiritual masters, doing that accounts seva will get you the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So the lesson learned here is Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasada. Whatever service we get, does not matter what service it is. We have to do it with full sincerity, honesty, integrity, and humility. If we do that, we will please Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. So because Jeev Goswami's disciple, now Shiksha disciple, Dukhi Krishna Das, was sweeping the streets very nicely and collecting the water every day nicely, she decided that I want to reveal myself to him. So she left her anklet in one of the kunjas one day. And then she sent Lalita Sakhi next day to retrieve it. Now Lalita Sakhi goes next day and Shyamananda Pandit, Dukhi Krishna Das. Every day he is collecting water. So at the kunja, he met Lalita Sakhi. She said, have you seen an anklet? By this time, Dukhi Krishna Das already had experience that this is not an ordinary anklet. He had touched it to his forehead and he was in ecstasy. Beyond bodily conception of life. So when he saw Lalita Sakhi, he understood that I have never seen such a girl in my life. She is absolutely from the spiritual world. Simply by seeing her, I am forgetting the entire material world. She is telling that this anklet belongs to her. She said that she belongs to my sister. So he understood that this anklet must be belonging to Radharani. So he said that I will give the anklet, but I will give it to the owner only. So somehow he was brought in front of Radharani, and Radharani gave Dukhi Krishna Das, the sincere disciple of his spiritual master, the service that, okay, this anklet belongs to me. you give it back to me. So Dukhi Krishnadas offered his obeisances looking at the moon-like toenails of Srimati Radharani. He offered his obeisances and gave her the anklet. And Srimati Radharani took that anklet, dipped it in little kumkum, and then she made a strange tilak, a different kind of tilak on the head of Dukhi Krishnadas. And she told him, from today, your name is Shyamananda. So that's how he got the name Shyamananda Pandit. Now, I'll tell you something very strange, something which happened after that. Generally, if I would have been in that place, immediately I would have printed a pamphlet and put it on Instagram, social media. I have got darshan of Radharani. Look at this tilak. And look at me, all you fallen conditioned souls. I have got darshan of Radharani. The Mahaprasad plate should come first to me only now. Something like that. I would have broadcast it. But those who actually get darshan of Radha and Krishna, those who actually get association of Paramahamsa Vaishnavas, they don't broadcast about it. They feel that I was not qualified for it, but I was still given. So therefore they hide it. So if somebody who has actually seen Krishna will always say, I have never seen Krishna. And those who have never seen Krishna, they'll be like, hey, yesterday night I went to Nidhivan, Somehow I gave 100 rupees to the security guard. I entered and I saw Baki Bihari there. And after seeing Baki Bihari, I don't want to do anything in life. All I want to do is sleep on my bed and get the Mahaprasad plate. Achhe se khayenge, achhe se soyenge, I have attained Krishna. So that is not the way. Spiritual life is not an accident. Everything happens by mercy of Guru. Everything happens by mercy of the devotees. And one needs to work hard for it. Dukhi Krishnadas, or now Shyamananda Pandit, did the seva for years together. And the service which he got became the pathway back home, back to Godhead. And then, when he came back, just see, he has just got darshan of Srimati Radharani. He should be glorified. People should accept him as an acharya. But what the world gave him? Criticism. All the devotees, they say, hey, what is this? You're a Gaudiya Vaishnava or not? What kind of tilak is this? This is not the tilak. This, that. They started scolding him. If he wanted, he could have said, hey, you conditioned soul. I just got darshan of Radharani. She made this tilak. But he didn't say all that. He did not say. Whatever ecstatic symptoms which he had developed by getting darshan of Radharani, and whatever ecstasies which he had developed in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra by seeing Radharani, he hid it. He was a very humble Vaishnava who was hiding his ecstasies. But he could not hide it from Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami detected it. And he called him. What's going on? I order you to tell me. So he told the entire incident, and Jiva Goswami became so happy that you are the most fortunate Pandit. From today, your name is Shyamananda Pandit only. I let everybody call you Shyamananda Pandit, like that. When his own spiritual master, the master of his life and soul, Hridaya Chaitanya Das, he came to know in Ambika Kalna that my disciple, whom I sent for tuition only to Jiva Goswami, he has changed his name also. And he has changed his tilak also. He became very angry and he also misunderstood. He came with some people from Ambika Kalna to Vrindavan. How is this possible? What you are doing? You changed your name also. In the living presence of your spiritual master, you changed your name. Shyamananda Pandit you became, like that. And what is this tilak? And then, even when his spiritual master is physically chastising him, beating him, he didn't say anything. Just like Subandhu Prabhu was sharing yesterday, that it is not in our position to correct our superiors. If I would have been there, I would have told, you are my Guru, please. Guru knows only what Krishna wants them to do. You don't know everything. Let me tell you something. Yesterday I've got darshan of Radharani. You don't know this. I know this. Listen first. I would have, I always, sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, I always backchat also. So, Shyamananda Pandit, he did not backchat with his spiritual master. That's why we are talking about him today. So, in the dream of Hridaya Chaitanya Das, Radharani came. And Radharani told him that I have given him the name Shyamananda. What is your problem? I have put that tilak. Let him, because he has pleased me. So then the next day, Hridaya Chaitanya Das, he also became very happy. He got up, he blessed his disciple, and then without any further discussion, he went back to Ambika Kalna. So that is the beauty of Shyamananda Pandit's life. Simply he did one seva which was assigned, and he attained the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So the lesson learned here is just do whatever service it is given. Don't think that these book distributors are more important, or these preachers, they are the cream of ISKCON, or these pujaris, they are doing direct service to the deities, or these kitchen people, they are the watering the root of ISKCON by giving prasadam to everybody. Don't think every service is equally important. So just do whatever service is given, and that service is your path back home, back to God. This is what we learn from the pastimes of Shyamananda Pandit. And because he continued doing his service every day, his meditation was becoming more and more intense. One day he was meditating on Lord Chaitanya. He saw that in his meditation, he made a very nice garland for Lord Chaitanya, consisting 5 flowers, 5 different fragrances and 5 different colors, Vaijayanti Mala. And then he garlanded Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu, in return, took that garland and put it back on Shyamananda Pandit. And all of a sudden, his meditation broke, and he saw that he's wearing a garland where bumblebees are all around. And the fragrance is coming, and the fragrance is, the birds are getting attracted, bees are getting, he's getting attracted, people next to him, itna acha garland, everybody's getting attracted. But just to hide, people would have glorified him, people would have elevated him. Just to avoid all that, he removed that garland and put it aside. So this is the nature of a person who has got mercy from Krishna. He does not broadcast that I've got mercy, look at me and take my shelter. Lesson learned here is mercy which we receive from the Lord should not be broadcast. The only service which we have is to make everybody realize how merciful the Lord is, and try to get his mercy by doing nice sadhana. But do not broadcast that, look at me, I am an acharya, please take shelter of me. This is not our business. This we learn from the pastimes of Shyamananda Pandit. And later on, Jiva Goswami ordered Shyamananda Pandit, seeing the very atheistic condition of Utkal, seeing the very atheistic condition of Orissa, he ordered Shyamananda Pandit that you go and preach there. Hridaya Chaitanya Das also said the same, that you should go and preach in Utkal. So therefore, the organized preaching activities, Shyamananda Pandit is the pioneer. He was today in Mangalarti we were hearing that anybody who wants to do Harinam Sankirtan, contact us. Anybody who wants to organize some Katha, contact us. That is called organization. Those who are coming for the first time, go to the Prabhupada's museum, first floor, your life will change. All that they were announcing. So organization in preaching activities was done by Shyamananda Pandit. And there is so many preaching adventures which Shyamananda Pandit has. Many yogis who were living for 1400 years, 1500 years, once if they would hear the kirtan of Shyamananda Pandit and they would see Shyamananda Pandit, interact with him, hear about the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, they would surrender their life. That is the glory of Shyamananda Pandit. And it is accounted that how he planned his preaching from one village to another village, from one house to another house. He kept on moving for years together. And he made very glorious disciples like Rasikananda and others, who further took on the preaching mission. Whole of Orissa became devotees of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Whole of Orissa. And that is why today, when we see, oh, he's an Odia, he must be a devotee, that is the contribution of Shyamananda Pandit. Just like we say, if he is an Andhra person, he must be a hardworking person, physically. Generally, there is an understanding like that. Andhra people are physically hardworking people. I don't know, it is whose contribution. But Odia people, they are generally very favorable for Krishna consciousness. That is the contribution of Shyamananda Pandit. And of course, he was a part of the first book distribution endeavor which happened, which I will just speak briefly about also. Now let me tell you a little bit about Srinivas Acharya. Srinivas Acharya was born in a small village of Chakhandi, and his father's name was Gangadhar Bhattacharya and mother's name was Lakshmi Priya. Both Gangadhar Bhattacharya and Lakshmi Priya were souls dedicated to Lord Chaitanya, and they had a strong desire to meet Lord Chaitanya. This is before the birth of Srinivas Acharya. Gangadhar Pandit Bhattacharya and Lakshmi Priya, they were husband and wife, but they were not ordinary couple. They had got nothing to do with the materialistic endeavors. Generally, when someone gets married, what do they do next? What do they do next? They disappear for 3-4 years from ISKCON. I'm just joking. But this is what we have seen in most cases. Active boys in IYF, after marriage, they disappear for some time. That we should never do. We should always remain connected. So they were not disappearing in the material world. Even after marriage, they were continuing to chant very nicely, serve very nicely. They had no time to buy sofa. They had no time to buy a house on EMI. And after marriage, they were not inviting the people to their house also, that we have got married, please come and have prasadam at our. Nothing they were doing. So the village only boycotted them. What kind of a non-materialistic couple they are? They don't come for public celebrations. They don't wear nice clothes. Whole day, Chaitanya, 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 teachings of Lord Chaitanya, teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Sometimes come to Durga Puja also, thoda Ganpati, everything. Some social life. This couple was socially dead. The only thing which they were doing is bhakti. Because of being socially dead and only engrossed in bhakti, they were boycotted by the society. They were not interested in having a child also. They were like, anyways, time is less to serve Lord Chaitanya. Why to have a child? They decided like that. Once he went to go and meet Lord Chaitanya, and that time in Katwa, he met Lord Chaitanya, where he saw the head shaving ceremony or the sannyas ceremony of Lord Chaitanya. And after seeing that, the only thing which he could say was Chaitanya, 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 Chaitanya. All the time Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. So when he came back, Gangadhar Bhattacharya was given the name Chaitanya Das by the villagers. And then, after many, many years of married life dedicated to teachings of Lord Chaitanya, all of a sudden the wife said, I want a child now. So Gangadhar Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Das, he's like, after so many years, you want a child? Okay, if you want a child, let it get confirmed by Lord Chaitanya. We will go to Jagannath Puri. So both of them went to Jagannath Puri to meet Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya is a sannyasa shiromani, such kind of a sannyasi that no woman or no unqualified people would not even come in the 200-meter radius of Lord Chaitanya also. But Lord Chaitanya, when he saw this couple, he only called them that you please come. And he took them inside his meeting place. Some people say he took them near Gambhira also. And there he told, without even asking a question, Lord Chaitanya said, your desire for having a child is inspired by me. You should go back to your village and beget this Krishna conscious child. His name will be Srinivas. Paida hone se pehle hi namkaran ho gaya. His name will be Srinivas, you go. And he will help me in spreading the Sankirtan movement. He will help me in spreading the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So very happily, Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya, they came back and they begot this child whose name was Srinivas. Even as a child, just like children these days, they say, parents teach them, Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Sometimes they teach, A for apple, B for ball. Like that they teach to the children. So, Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya used to play with the child saying, say that you are a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Say you are the servant of Advaita Ishvara. Say like that. From childhood, Chaitanya consciousness was injected in him. This is called being a successful parent. I was telling that there are so many services in ISKCON. Being a Krishna conscious parent is also a service in ISKCON. If you have become a parent, if you have become a father, then it is your duty to ensure Chaitanya consciousness, Krishna consciousness in your child. It is very important. Otherwise, you should remain like Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya, whom society had boycotted. If you cannot stay like that, if you want a child, make sure you make your child God conscious. At least make a very, very sincere attempt. This is a seva. And trust me, the only seva of a parent is to make their children Krishna conscious. Just like Shyamananda Pandit, simply by sweeping the streets of Vrindavan, attained Radha and Krishna. If you decide to become a parent, simply by making your child Chaitanya conscious, one day you will see the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. Because it is a seva. Any seva you get, do it nicely. So, one day, I have heard this from my spiritual master, that they used to chant, and then Father Chaitanya Das used to faint in ecstasy, chanting the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and the holy name of Lord Krishna. And then he used to faint. And then the child, Srinivas Acharya, used to take the lotus feet of his father's and put it on his head. And when father has stopped chanting, he used to continue chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. This was the family life of Srinivas Acharya. Family life is meant to be like this. Chaitanya consciousness, Krishna consciousness. And then, of course, who is the spiritual master of Srinivas Acharya? Okay, you don't know because I have not told. His spiritual master is Gopal Bhatta Goswami. But his journey to initiation is a great journey which we should learn from. He met a personal associate called Narhari Sarkar. Some people call him Narhari Sarkar Thakur, who told him so many things about Lord Chaitanya that he decided that I have to dedicate my life to Lord Chaitanya. And then, in the dream, Srinivas Acharya was told by Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya had already passed away by that time. He was told that you go to you go to Jagannath Puri, meet Gadadhar Pandit, and learn Srimad Bhagavatam from him. So with great happiness, Srinivas Acharya, as a child, he went, and then Gadadhar Pandit said, I cannot teach you Srimad Bhagavatam, because whatever Bhagavatam I had, it's been wiped away by tears of ecstasy. I am the incarnation of Srimati Radharani, and along with Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both of us used to sit and read Bhagavatam. So if Radha and Krishna would come in Kali Yuga together, probably they would sit and read Bhagavatam. Listen, one thing. And they would read about Prahlad Maharaj, they would read about Dhruv Maharaj, they would read about the various Mahabhagavats. As a result of that, the entire writing on the palm leaves which was there was all fully wiped out. So lesson learned, if you want to read Bhagavatam, read it with full heart. And the day one small tear will roll down your cheek, reading about how Vamandev cheated Bali Maharaj, that is the perfection of human existence. The day after many, many years of chanting Hare Krishna, one day we will really start feeling grateful to Lord Krishna that how much you have done for me, my Lord. And in return, what I could do other than sense gratification and misbehavior. The day we will feel like that. The day we will feel that we are completely unqualified, but there is so much mercy in my life because of the devotees around me. That is the perfection of human life. So Bhagavatam has to be read like that. We should read Bhagavatam in such a way that we should completely disconnect from the whole surroundings and be transported to that place. Suppose we are reading this pastime of Vamandev and Bali Maharaj. So we should really feel that we are there standing. Vamandev is walking, just like all of you are walking because of pain in your leg. So Vamandev is pushing the earth and walking in the Bhrigukach, and then Bali Maharaj is running and coming, and Shukracharya is thinking why he has come here. So we should literally live there. Transport ho jana hai wahan par. And in that way, with gratitude, we should read Bhagavatam, relishing the purports of Srila Prabhupada. That how fortunate I am if I didn't have these purports. The whole world is reading Bhagavatam, but they are not developing ecstasy. But by reading these Bhaktivedanta purports, I am getting that ecstasy. Lesson to be learned here, the goal of reading Bhagavatam or the goal of reading any book is to associate with Bhaktivedanta purports. More important than shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, more important than shlokas of Bhagavatam, more important than Lord's pastimes for us are the Bhaktivedanta purports. By reading those purports, just like Srinivas Acharya developed ecstasy by associating with Narahari Sarkar Thakur. Similarly, by associating with Bhaktivedanta purports, we will also develop ecstasy one day, provided you sufficiently associate. If you are reading only 10 minutes a day, then God knows it will take 10 lifetimes. So if you want to achieve it in this lifetime, how much minutes or how much time you should read every day? 3 hours. Somebody is telling 3 hours. Really appreciate it. 3 hours. But what should be our minimum quota? Let's start with 1% for Krishna, 99% for me. That consciousness. What should be the minimum quota? Tell me, honestly. Sorry? 30 minutes. If 30 minutes a day you can read every day, you will certainly get the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. 30 minutes a day is not small, Prabhupada. It's amazing if you can do it every day. And those 30 minutes will slowly increase also on its own, because you got the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. So starting with 30 minutes a day book reading will change our life. My geography teacher in school gave me a very nice sutra, which I really appreciate. She said it does not matter whether you study for 1 hour or 2 hours or 14 hours. What is important is consistency. You study for 1 hour only, but you study 1 hour every day. That will do the magic. So similarly, when it comes to Srimad Bhagavatam, doesn't matter whether you read 3 hours or 30 minutes, but whatever you do it consistently. That will do the magic. Because no matter how much Bhagavatam we read, until unless we get the mercy of Prabhupada and Krishna, we cannot start practicing Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are doing it as a seva, but let's do it consistently. And whenever we read, we should not be sleepy, we should not be having mobile, we should not eat aloo paratha and start reading Bhagavatam. There are many people I have seen, the moment they open Bhagavatam, in Shakespearean English, they go into the arms of Morpheus. Matlab, Bhagavatam khula, neend aaya. Some people, they are like, neend nahi aa raha hai, to chalo, ek Prabhupada book lao bhai. They literally sit on the bed with the second canto of Bhagavatam or some, book with lengthy purports, and in 5 minutes they will get sleep. They are using it as a sleeping pill. Our mood to read Bhagavatam should not be like that. So he went to Gadadhar Pandit, and Gadadhar Pandit said, I cannot teach you because it's rubbed. So you go to Navadvip, engage the Brahmanas in writing a fresh copy of Bhagavatam and come again. So he went there, and for 1 month he kept, because likhne mein time lagta hai. It was Srinivas Acharya only who made this desire. That I lost the opportunity of reading Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit because it took 1 month to create one copy of Bhagavatam. If we really want to expand these teachings of Lord Chaitanya and book distribution, there should be some way in which we can print or create these books at a rapid scale. It was because this Srinivas Acharya, because of his desire, we have printing press today, and because of his desire, we have Srila Prabhupada's books today, and because of that, books are being distributed. You heard how many books were distributed in the morning today? Some 2,000 books, and under that Tamal tree, only some 400 books were distributed. So, because somebody desired, that's why Krishna created this printing press technology, and because of that, we have so many books. So anyways, it took 1 month time, and after 1 month, when he went back to Jagannath Puri, Gadadhar Pandit passed away. Words cannot describe what it means to meet Gadadhar Pandit and then lose his association. He was completely heartbroken. He didn't know what to do in life. Mahaprabhu came and told, in dream, you go, but now that person is not there. Then devotees told, you go to Vrindavan, and under Rup and Sanatan you study. So he started his way to Vrindavan. But when he reached Vrindavan, he reached on that day, whenever he reached Vrindavan, both Rup and Sanatan had passed away. So this time he thought that there is no meaning of my life. I'm so fallen that I do not get a spiritual master also. There is no meaning of my life. So he fainted there at the doorsteps of Sri Sri Radha Damodar temple, with full prayer and heart that, my dear Lord, please take my life. Words cannot describe what Srinivas Acharya was going through. Even Lord Chaitanya was very much affected by what hankering for Guru he was going through. So on the way, when he was going to Navadvip for getting the book, Lord Chaitanya told his wife, Vishnupriya, to give special mercy to Srinivas Acharya, saying that, my dear Vishnupriya, you don't know what Srinivas Acharya is going through. Give him your mercy. So in that way, Lord Chaitanya arranged Jeev Goswami to pick him up, and then Gopal Bhatta Goswami gave him initiation. In that way, Srinivas Acharya, Jeev Goswami was teaching many people, especially Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit and Srinivas. Jeev Goswami gave Srinivas Prabhu the title of Srinivas Acharya. Seeing his absorption in reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and especially when Srinivas Acharya used to start reciting Bhagavatam, he would recite in such a sweet way that even the biggest of the atheists could not resist. And when he would explain those Srimad Bhagavatam in the light of teachings of Lord Chaitanya, everybody would surrender to him. That is why Jeev Goswami gave him the title Acharya, Srinivas Acharya. Now let me, because time is up, fast break ka time aa gaya, I'll just shortly tell about that book distribution incident. I did not get time to cover Narottam Das Thakur, because all of you know so much about Narottam Das Thakur also. So as we heard, Janava Mataji made a request that whole Bengal and Orissa is struggling due to lack of teachings of Lord Chaitanya. The books which are the Goswami literature, the Nectar of Instruction, the Nectar of Devotion, and the Sandarbhas, and all the books of the Goswamis should come to Bengal. So Jeev Goswami entrusted this seva to Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit. These titles were given by Jeev Goswami: Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, Srinivas Acharya. So all three of them, surrounded with 10 guards, all the books loaded in very nicely loaded in trunks on a bullock cart, they went. And even people as elderly as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who had just written Chaitanya Charitamrita and loaded in the cart, and people like Jiva Goswami at the age of 70 plus, they were also knowing the importance of this seva, and they accompanied that cart till Mathura. And from there, all these three, along with the 10 guards, they were taking it. As soon as they reached the kingdom of Vishnupur, the king of that kingdom, Bhiram Bhir, his way of tax collection was unique. His way of maintaining his treasury was unique. He would collect taxes from people also, and he would loot the passerby, and he would loot the people passing through his kingdom also. So he had kept a band of dacoits, employed them, salary dete the dacoits ko, that whichever tourist pilgrim will come, you loot them. So these dacoits, they had taken note of this great bullock cart which was coming, surrounded by 10 guards. So they had full desire that we have to loot this cart. And the personal astrologer of Bhiram, he told that this is the greatest treasure of the entire universe. If you get this treasure, you don't need anything in life for the rest of eternity. Astrologer was not wrong. So Bhiram said that call the best dacoits, and then we have to loot this. And guess what? They were successful in looting it. Somehow, in the presence of 10 guards and in the presence of the three great personalities, greatest preachers of ISKCON, Gaudiya Vaishnava movement, books were stolen. And then when the three, they got up, they were devastated. Words cannot express what they were going through. They were given this seva of taking the only copies of the Goswami literature, the only copies of Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, everything stolen. Now what to do? Srinivasa Avacharya was the lead. He had to take a decision. The first thing which he did was he wrote a letter to Jiva Goswami that whatever your life's work was, I have lost it. Somebody stole it. And then he asked Narottam Das Thakur to proceed towards Kheturi Gram, or rather proceed towards Navadvip first. And he asked Shyamananda Pandit that both Hriday Chaitanya and Jiva Goswami wanted you to go to Orissa and preach. So you go there. So he sent Narottam to Bengal, and he sent Shyamananda to Orissa, and he said, I will stay here and deal with this mess. I will stay here until we retrieve the books. And then he started praying. He started finding out how the books disappeared, everything. He came to know, he got some idea that Bhiram keeps some dacoits also. So he was thinking, I should maybe check with the king. But he was not getting an appointment. On the contrary, Bhiram, as soon as he came in touch with these books, simply by touching these books, his heart changed. Just like Srila Prabhupada says, that during book distribution, you somehow make them touch the book also. Even if they don't purchase, it is fine. But even if they touch the book, simply by touching the book, their life will also change. So therefore, every year when 600 cartons of books come, we should be very eager to do that carton lifting seva or book seva, because these books are as good as deities. How many of you have a desire to touch the lotus feet of Radharani in Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar altar in Krishna Balram temple? That desire will be fulfilled when you touch the nectar of devotion and Bhagavad Gita. Every time you touch the nectar of devotion, you should imagine Radharani's lotus feet and touch that book. It is same. So simply by touching that book, heart of Bhiram has changed, and he became repentant. That I have done a great sin in my life. And then in his dream, one effulgent personality comes and he says, don't worry, I will soon come and take these books from you. So somehow he got entrance into the court of the king, where many professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam were sitting. And all of them were doing some nonsense commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is not bona fide, which is basically mental speculation. Just like in Vrindavan, we have many people who do those kind of kirtans. मुझे रास आ रहा है तेरे दर पर सर झुकाना, तुम्हें मिल गया पुजारी, मुझे मिल गया ठिकाना. This kind. I heard this kirtan in a cab while coming to Vrindavan. And that kirtan ceremony was going on, and the two singers were there, full alap and all. They were singing. People were opening their shirt and throwing up. And some 10,000 people were there. It was happening in Vrindavan. मुझे रास आ रहा है तेरे दर पर सर झुकाना, तुम्हें मिल गया पुजारी, मुझे मिल गया ठिकाना. So this is non-bona fide commentary. We should stick to Acharya commentaries only. Until unless one has seen the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and got a personal blessing from Lord Krishna, they should not dare to give their own commentary. And Srila Prabhupada got both. But still he repeated only Baldev Vidya Bhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. This consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. We should only repeat. Krishna consciousness means repeating. Even Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita at one point of time says, the other saintly people, they think this. He's telling, I am Bhagwan, but listen to the opinion of other sadhus also. Even the Lord speaks like that. And in one incarnation, when the Lord decides to speak against the other sadhus, that is Buddha avatar, where he decides to speak against the Vedic scripture, we don't worship Lord Buddha. We consider that he's an incarnation, but we don't take his teachings and we don't worship him in the altar. So it is very important to be aligned with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So Srinivasa Acharya went and told that this commentary is not proper. Srinivasa Acharya, no? He went and said, this commentary is not proper. I will try to tell you what is the commentary. So King said, you think you are very smart? I will call my best people. You debate and give commentary on Bhagavatam. So then next day onwards, Srinivasa Acharya, for the next 1 week, he started reciting Srimad Bhagavatam and speaking Srimad Bhagavatam in the light of teachings of Lord Chaitanya. There was no need of a debate after that. All the debaters who had been called by the king and all the people, simply by hearing Srinivasa Acharya, they surrendered their life to him by hearing his Bhagavatam recitation and message of Lord Chaitanya. Point to be noted here, more important than Srinivasa Acharya here is the message which he is carrying. Why Srinivasa Acharya is Srinivasa Acharya? Not because he is Srinivasa Acharya, who has been blessed by Vishnu Priya and who has been blessed by the other Pandit. He is Srinivasa Acharya because he is repeating the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. What conquered the hearts of the atheistic and the mundane professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam was the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So if you want to become valuable in ISKCON, repeat the message of Lord Chaitanya, repeat the purports of Srila Prabhupada, repeat Krishna consciousness as it is. That is, you will also become an Acharya one day. Your name will be some Pranjay Acharya or some Acharya, some name will come. So because he spoke Bhagavatam in the light of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, even the professional reciters, their heart melted. And Bhirambhir realized that he is the same person who came in my dream. And then he surrendered his life to Srinivasa Acharya. And Srinivasa Acharya started a new method of preaching called High Net Worth Individual Cultivation, HNIC. Directly preached to the king. King ko preach kiya, pura kingdom preach ho gaya. So this is also another branch of preaching, high net worth individual cultivation. Some people should do that also. Find out the shreshthas in the society. Find out the big people, big shots in the society. Cultivate them. Unko cultivate kiya, the pura sab cultivate ho gaya. Like that. So he cultivated the king Bhirambhir, and Bhirambhir made the whole kingdom Vaishnav. Full kingdom had become Vaishnav. Bhirambhir made so many temples also. So much help he did, Bhirambhir. Even Jeev Goswami became very happy. So much help in Vrindavan also happened due to Bhirambhir. So in this way, Srinivasa Acharya conquered everybody's hearts made everybody a devotee. And then he preached very, very nicely everything in the line of Lord Chaitanya. So it's time up now. We'll pause our discussion. Thank you very much. You can read about Narottam Das Thakur more whenever you get time. But let's be very, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he has given his purports to us, he has given his lectures to us. If Srila Prabhupada wouldn't have been there, how would have we ever understood the teachings of Lord Chaitanya? We would have never understood the meaning of a Dham visit also. How would have we understood that service to Guru is the pathway back home, back to Godhead? How would have we understood that we are not important, but the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are important? So these are the teachings of these first three preachers and the principal book distributors of ISKCON. Thank you very much. All the best to all of you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.